In Canada, there is an effort being made to unbundle cable TV subscriptions. No surprise at all. Comcast in Canada doesn't like it. There is a discussion in Ottawa to take place next week where Disney will be alongside Canada's largest cable operators to lobby against a proposal from the CRTC. It's more or less the equivalent of the FCC in Canada that would give customers the power to decide ultimately what content do they want and the ability to pay for that in a way that is different than what we're used to, these huge bundles. And this is just the run-of-the-mill way business is done in the U.S., right, Lewis? You get 100 channels or 150 or 50 or 200 channels, and you pay one price for all of those. Now, there are premium channels like HBO. Maybe it's $10 extra a month for HBO. But for the most part, you can't say, well, I really like ESPN, but I don't need ESPN2 and ESPN News and the other programming produced by them. And you don't have the option to do that. And what a lot of people may not know, you probably know that that's the way you buy your channels. What people may not know is that's also the way that the cable providers buy the channels. So in other words, these are not actual examples, but for example, let's say that the Food Network and HGTV and the Golf Channel are all produced by the same company. Everybody wants to carry the Food Network, right? That's a very popular channel. But the producers will go to the cable companies and say, okay, if you want to offer Food TV, you also need to offer the cooking show, the cooking channel, as well as HGTV and HGTV2, as well as Golf 1, Golf 2, Golf 3, Golf 4, whatever channels it is. And the cable provider doesn't really have much of a choice. And that's how a lot of these channels are getting bundled in the first place. There is a huge resistance, Lewis, to unbundling. And of course, it would be really good for the consumer.
When you have 200 channels, how many of those are you regularly watching?
Right.
I don't think it's possible for everyone to be watching all of those channels on a regular basis.
I agree with you. And the problem also that we get to even when we think about unbundling is even if we were to unbundle, realistically speaking, ladies and gentlemen, what would it really be like? Because you probably would pay a basic delivery fee, like $15, and then you would pay a per channel fee. And if you think about the fact that it's estimated that right now, to stick with our example of ESPN, the sports channel, ESPN is about $1.10 of your cable bill based on what ESPN charges cable providers. That's an estimate. If you were to pay by channel, we can only assume the per channel fee goes up. So then the question is it really worth $5 just for ESPN? So even though the bundling is completely unfair, realistically speaking, if channels were unbundled, it wouldn't be 30 cents a channel either.
Certainly, individual channels would be pretty pricey. Overall, would you still end up saving money? I would say yes.
But then it's the same game that they play now, which is if you save $10 and you have 20 channels instead of 200, is that worth it? I don't know.
I'm sure they will try to make it so that is exactly what happens, but hopefully we win. Hopefully the good guys win.